Hello, good afternoon. This or good evening. This is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharp. I'm here live to take your U.S. immigration related questions. Go ahead and put your questions in the comments now so that I can answer your questions. So today I want to be while I'm talking, you guys can put your questions in the comments. But I want to touch on somebody last night on the live that I was on said asked if VAWA is even an option anymore. I want to emphasize that it is absolutely an option. And if you qualify, you can get the relief that you need to be able to move forward with your status here in the United States. You would be able to get your work permit and then eventually get your green card. It is absolutely still an option, especially now if you have a spouse who is mistreating you or who is holding your immigration status over your head. Then you definitely want to be able to pursue this option. All right, I'm seeing questions coming in. Now, the way that you qualify for VAWA, before I answer questions, I just want to say this. The way that you qualify for VAWA is if you have a US citizen or a legal permanent resident, a spouse, parent, or a citizen adult child who is mistreating you, then you would be able to apply for this kind of relief. All right, let me go ahead and put the questions, put the, go ahead and answer some questions here. Yeah, let me set up. I'm having some issues getting on to, yes, I answer the chat questions. Put your questions in the comments. I'm just setting up here. All right. So I'm going to start on TikTok because I see a number of questions coming on TikTok. Hello there. On Instagram, go ahead, put your questions in the comments now so that I can answer your questions. Can a pending asylum apply for EB-5? It really is going to depend on what your current status is. If your current status, if you are not in that gray area where you basically don't have status, but you're in this protected category where you can stay here, work here while you wait, and you have status, then EB-5 may be an option. But we would have to really talk to you to figure out the facts. EB-5 is the investment, basically the investment green card. Good afternoon. I'm doing my marriage-based filing. Can I still use New York State health insurance? So if it is considered public assistance, then you definitely want to take part on that. So if it's considered part of the federal program, now New York health insurance, are you paying for it? What is the nature of it? Is it only is it only the state that is administering this insurance program? You have to understand that because they're looking at federal public assistance. But keep in mind that the change in the public charge rule also means that they can look at whether you got financial assistance in order to get health care and determine whether that means that you are more at risk for being a public charge. So usually when they're doing this evaluation now, they're not just looking at whether or not your sponsor meets income requirements. Now they're looking at everything. So they can look at If you owe any debts, your credit score, they can look at your age, they can look at your job status, they can look at your employment history, they can look at your education, they can look at your household size, they can look at what kind of public assistance you've gotten. So it's very broad. Officers now have a very broad discretion to look at everything and then decide whether it means that you will likely become a public charge. And becoming a public charge basically means that you are primarily dependent on public benefits. So the thing about it is, no officers are given the permission to use that information to come to their own conclusions. It's questionable, but this is the new rule that's in place. I did my affirmative interview in September 2021, but case status is still pending in San Francisco. Okay, so yeah, that's a quite a long time for an asylum to be pending after an interview for sure. You can no In a case like this, if it's past case processing times, because asylum processing still can take up to 10 years. And some cases do take 10 years. So if it's beyond the case processing time, then it's time to put in a case inquiry. All right. Sky's the limit. You're welcome. Thanks so much for the love on TikTok. I appreciate it. What is the time frame for the T visa? Go to uscis.gov and look up the I-914 form. You'll see the range of time that it's taking. Keep in mind that that range of time it covers the longest cases as well as the shortest cases. So it's best you look at that. What I would say though is, if you qualify, go for it. The longer you wait, the longer it's gonna take for you to get to that relief. Good night. I overstay my visa and I would like to know if I can get my paperwork done. It's a possibility, but we have to understand what your circumstances are in order to qualify you. So anybody that just tells you straight off the bat, "Oh, you overstayed your visa, you can get a work permit," is a scam. It's a lie. Because we have to ask questions. We have to understand your circumstances to be able to determine what options are best for you legally to move forward. That's where the appointment with us is super important, because that way we're able to speak with you. I am able to break down what's going on in your situation and determine whether you qualify for a benefit to get your papers here. Can someone travel with a pending citizenship? Yeah, so if you're a green card holder, you can travel, but just keep in mind that you still have to consider the risk involved. Do you have additional risk? Do you have an arrest record? You have a pending citizenship, but do you have anything that is questionable that could render you inadmissible or deportable? That's where whenever you're going to travel, no matter if you're a green card holder well, citizens can travel no problem, but if you're a green card holder, you need to be aware of those additional risks. U visa approved. Can we travel inside the USA checkpoint? So if you have a U visa that's approved, usually you can travel within the United States with that EAD. After EAD, do they send SSN? In some cases, yes. Some cases you may have to apply, but in others you get the SSN. Can someone travel with a pending? So I answered that. How can I get in contact with you? You can go ahead and call the numbers all over the videos. I am going to go ahead and put it in the comments as well, under immigration attorney Sharifa. So it's 561-405-4889. You can call now. And I suggest you do, because my schedule is filling up. So you want to get to some solutions, figure out what options work best for you. Give us a call, and then schedule that appointment with us. After approval and you had asylum on BIA level. So I have to reopen my case, and what next? I'm not sure, after approval and you had asylum on BIA level. So what approval though? It just depends how you're going to treat the asylum. Is going to be dependent on what you got approved for. It doesn't hurt to have two processes going at the same time, but it may not make sense. Okay, so your VAWA is approved, and then now your asylum. I'm not your attorney. I can't give you personalized legal advice, but what I can say is, until you know for sure you have VAWA, which is deferred action, then you have the asylum that's pending review. It doesn't hurt to keep your asylum at the appellate level, and for them to make a decision. It might end up being a plan B. I know from VAWA you can go on to the green card. I don't know your particular case. So in other words, talk to your attorney. It's really going to depend. When the timing of withdrawing the asylum is going to depend on what this VAWA looks like. Did you just get VAWA? Are you now in the process of getting your green card? Are the citizenship applications still going fast? So go to uscis.gov. That's where you're going to see the change in the pace of the applications. uscis.gov. Go to the N400 form, and you'll be able to see the case processing timelines for those right now. In I-485, yes, no questions. There's a mistake. So can it be corrected in the N400? Okay, so you need to talk to an attorney for sure. Because yes, they are going backwards. They're looking at your past application, and it's important that before they call it, you all, disclose or make corrections. It's sort of late in the game to change it for the I-485. So this is where you need to talk to an attorney, just to figure out the best strategy and whether there are any consequences to that, to the mistake. If it's construed as anything else. Thanks so much for the love on TikTok. I really appreciate it. When you tap that screen and you show that love, more and more people see the live, and they also can join and get information that can empower them in their journey. That person's going to apply for citizenship next year, had a green card for 4 years. Okay, so I'm not sure. How long for work permit based on I-485? I applied since July 2025. Go to uscis.gov. Look at case processing times there. Hi there, Rancho. It's nice to see you. I see you're a long-time watcher. Welcome. Hi, Dev. Hi, Mewand. Thanks so much for the love. Hi there, Demi. Nice to see you. Oh, thanks so much for the belated birthday wish. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to go to Instagram now. Put your questions in the comments on Instagram so I can answer those questions. After receiving USCIS receipt notice for T visa, how long after is the biometrics? So it varies right now. We're seeing an average of about 3 months, but sometimes they do it at the tail end, so it goes even 8 months, 12 months for some cases. It just depends. Does a U visa C-14 deferred action recipient still accrue unlawful presence while on the waiting list? No, they don't. So once you receive deferred action, they stop accruing unlawful presence. Can someone get a green card without marrying someone? Yes, it's possible. We work on case types like that. So, give us a call and let's see if you qualify for one of those ways. I've applied for marriage-based green card and work permit on the 20th of October 2025, but I did not get any response yet. What should I do? So did you receive your receipt notice? Sometimes after receiving the receipt notice, things go quiet for a bit, and that's normal right now. But the question is, did you get that receipt notice? If you didn't, that's unusual. You need to call them and see if you can track it. All right, keep putting the questions in the comments. All right, I'm on YouTube and Facebook now. I have done my interview on 5th of January 2026. Went fine, was good, and they request for evidence before the interview, like 4 days. And I didn't get a chance to submit it, so I submitted on March 5th and no response. So it's important to meet the request for evidence deadlines. This is not a flexible deadline. They will deny your application for missing the deadline. This is serious, guys. Anything that has a deadline, because right now they're looking to deny applications, right? They're limiting immigration. They're looking to deny as many applications as they can. And so if they give you a deadline and you don't meet that deadline, they can easily then say you missed the deadline, they didn't consider the evidence after the deadline. So important for you to meet those deadlines. I received a notice and biometrics is also completed, but I didn't receive a work permit. Yep. So sometimes it takes a while to get that work permit. It just depends on processing times, but it's in process. Work permit timeline, you can go to uscis.gov, go to case processing times, and you'll see the timeline there. Is it advisable to apply for EB1A without premium processing if B1, B2 visa expires in May? I'm from one of the banned countries. Well, that is very specific. And I think in that case, you need to talk to your attorney or give us a call and talk to us in an appointment, because that's very specific. And I just want to understand all your circumstances before advising about, paying for premium processing versus not paying for it. What I would say is, even if you're from a banned country and you qualify for the EB1A, you need to explore still applying for it. My AOS interview was scheduled for March 24th, but was canceled for unforeseen circumstances. Ever since then, it has not been rescheduled. So it may take a couple of months to get that rescheduled. My mom filed I-130 for me in 2019. I got my receipt back, but I still have not heard anything. So this may take a while to get an approval. And so not hearing anything is not out of the ordinary, because it can take a few years to get a decision on that I-130, especially if you're in a category where you're over the age of, you're 21 or older. It's going to take a little longer. Now, one thing I do want to note, guys, is if you're here in the United States, as many people are trying to find solutions to be able to fix their situation, a lot of people are now filing I-130s, thinking, for example, you have a U.S. citizen parent who's here, you may be, 25 already, or you may be 35 already, and you quickly made the decision to file the I-130. believing that that's going to lead to the green card directly. But keep in mind that the I-130 is just the start of the process. And it's just step one of the process. It's not actually leading to the green card. It's just saying that you qualify to obtain permanent residence through a relative. Once that's approved, then they move on to the green card stage. And if you're here in the United States and you've already overstayed and you applied either as a relative of a permanent resident or you're over the age of 21, you're 21 or over, and you're the son or daughter of a permanent resident or a US citizen, you will not qualify for adjustment of status after overstaying. If you're under 21 and unmarried of a US citizen, you are an immediate relative of a US citizen, and that means that they give you a pass for the overstay. But other categories don't have that benefit. And so filing the I-130 can actually create a complication in your case. It can create a situation where you may get an I-130 approved or you might have an I-130 pending, but you might, if they see now that you are in the United States, you are going to get you're going to get a notice to appear in immigration court. And this is what they have stated. They've stated clearly in the changes to the policy manual that they have every right to issue notices to appear if they review I-130s and the person is in the United States and overstayed. Now, it's not to say that you can't apply. I don't want you to walk away saying you can't do something or you can do something. What I would say though is it's really a strategic decision at that point. You need to talk to an attorney and you need to come up with a plan. I received 3 biometrics on VAWA. Is that normal? So not really. I'm not sure why you would have 3, but it's usually you have 1, maybe 1 per application. So you may have gotten 1 for the work permit, 1 for the I-485, 1 for the VAWA. I've seen that. But if you've just gotten for the I-360 petition 3 times, it's not normal. But I don't know if there's a technical issue on the back end that where they are not getting your fingerprint, so they keep calling you back. I'll give you a call, kindly show your number. So in the comments, I'm going to go ahead and put my number. And keep in mind, guys, that it's very easy to get in touch with us. Go to our website. You'll see on the website, you'll see the information there on how to contact us. We have a contact form. We have an evaluation form. We have the phone number. Take advantage of all those different ways to get in touch with the firm, and we will call you right back. As a C-14, can I travel on air within the United States with ICE at the airport? Still, you have to make sure that you're very careful because, for example, what we have seen is individuals who may have a work permit, they may have even been granted deferred action, but they have a removal order in their history that was never executed. Immigration, ICE was still, we have reports of ICE still detaining people who clearly had their papers, their work permit, but they had a removal order that they didn't take care of first. So it's important to just make sure you understand your individual risk. All right. My T visa was submitted April 2024, and I already did biometrics October 2024. I've not even received a BFD or work permit. I feel like I'm losing hope. When I applied, it was 12 to 18 months. Yes. And, processing times are subject to change. But the last thing you should be doing is giving up. I know it does feel heavy right now, but just keep holding on and keep the faith. I did my biometrics for my VAWA and I got another. What does that mean? It doesn't necessarily mean anything. I mean, I've seen that before, but keep in mind, I'm not your attorney, so I don't know your case. So I wouldn't be able to advise any further than that. That's just to say it's not something necessarily out of the ordinary, but at the same time, I don't know your case to be able to tell you maybe if there's something more to it that we should know. The deadline, it was 2nd of April, so it was before the deadline. Okay, so that's good. How long it takes to get a receipt notice for T visa? Are you getting lots of T visa work permits and also approvals? So go to our page. You can go to Instagram, immigration lawyer Sharifa. You'll see, you'll definitely see we are getting work permits. So we're getting 4-year work permits for our clients in the T visa category right now, and we've gotten about 10 so far in the past week. So the wheels are turning there. All right. On Instagram, is it true people under asylum can apply for EAD after 365 days? So right now they're changing the rule to 365, but right now it's at 150 days. Eventually, they're aiming to change it to 365. So once you apply, and they're basically going back to a rule that they had in place during the last Trump administration. So they're doing that again. I just sent my medical for I-485. When should I expect to hear from USCIS for approval? It can be anywhere from a month to even, I've seen it even up to 12 months to get the approval after submitting the medical. Deferred action approved with EAD. Still no EAD. It's been adjudicated. How long does it take? Go make sure that it didn't get lost in the mail. Make sure there was no mistakes made. Okay. Can an approved I-130 expire if you have to return home to honor your 212 home residency for J1? No. So the I-130 does not expire. Of course, if they send it to the National Visa Center, you have to communicate with them, of course, and let them know you have to log in every year so that they don't close your case if it moves to the National Visa Center. Hi there, Sia. Nice to see you. I see you're a long time watcher. Slims, nice to see you. K9K, nice to see you. Good night. If I'm renewing for visitor visa, do I need back the exact information from the last time? If your application is going to have all truthful information, it should have all the information that was in the previous visa application. They are looking at things like that. So for instance, if something is contradicting now later on, like for example, your first application, you didn't have kids, and the second one, now you have kids, that's going to be a problem. Visa has been, you're very welcome, Ved Lauren. Visa has been expired for some years now for renewal. Do you have to go in for an interview? Yes. For partial ban countries, do they make decisions on AOS through T status, or effects are the same as full ban? So right now they're pausing for all cases on the banned list. They're pausing the cases. So yes, even partially banned, they're pausing them. I did a biometrics for my VAWA. I got another one. What does that mean? So I already talked about that. For partial ban countries, do they make decisions on AOS through T status? Okay, so I answered that. So here in the US, when they're doing AOS, they're pausing those, they're putting a hold on them, and they are lifting the hold on some applications, but they have stated or insinuated that the banned countries will continue to be on hold in all immigration benefits. I'm a resident. Do you recommend applying for citizenship under this environment, or wait it out? If you qualify for citizenship, go for it. But this is where it's important to talk to us, just to understand your risk level in order to determine whether that's the best move. So don't let this what's happening stop you from applying. But be smart about it. Make sure you understand what you're going into before applying, and then you can make an informed decision. Thanks so much for the love on TikTok. So we have 6.2K likes so far. Thank you for that. Are they pausing? Because for Jamaica, if you are in the US TV case, they're not pausing the cases for Jamaicans. Jamaica is on the list of 75 countries with immigrant visa holds. It's temporarily on hold. We don't know when it's going to be lifted, but that is not causing a hold on those applications here in the United States. All right, so my phone is about to die on Instagram. So if you want to join me on Immigration Attorney Sharifa on TikTok or on YouTube, Getting the Green Card, you want to join the rest of the live, you're free to do that. But my phone is about to die. So just to let you know, I'm going to end up chipping out very soon. I wish I knew you before I applied for my asylum. I always say it's never too late. If you have questions, it doesn't mean because you applied for something does not mean that you can't look at any new options or even look at how to make your asylum case stronger. I would say no, guys. When you submit that asylum case, you need to make sure it's strong, because if you submitted an asylum case, that's going to be your path to gain protection here, gain status here, and eventually green card and citizenship. So you need to make sure it's strong. Here's when you need to look into that. If you don't remember what's in your application, you don't know what's in there, you need to definitely talk to me about it and evaluate whether enough information was submitted, because they are very much about details. And if the details aren't there with the asylum, you will be denied. And all of this would be for naught. So take the time now, because you can supplement your evidence. All right. What about work permits? Since there's a pause, do they renew work permits from those countries on the list? Banned countries, no. Countries on the 75 immigrant visa ban, yes. But keep in mind, some banned countries are on that 75 country list as well. So it's going to apply to those countries. I qualify for VAWA case. I have asylum case pending in court. So what is my process? If you qualify for a VAWA, definitely look at it as an option. In addition to your asylum, give us a call and let's talk. Now, if you are already in court, you may have to raise VAWA, cancellation of removal, as a defense to deportation. If your VAWA petition is pending, you need to raise that with the court as well. From the 75 I-130 pending for 15 months, wife is a green card holder in the USA on my tourist visa, and so if you're here in the United States, you're from one of the 75 countries on the immigrant visa ban, but you're here in the United States and you qualify for adjustment of status, you can go for it, and the immigrant visa ban will not affect you if you're applying for adjustment of status here in the United States. Wow, 7.2K likes. Thank you for that. And it means more people are seeing the live and getting information that can empower them in their immigration journey. And if I apply now, how long to take new work permit and travel documents? So go to uscis.gov, you'll see the processing times there. What I urge you to do is not be short-sighted. If you want the benefit, the sooner you get to it, the sooner you can get it. My clients who are getting their work permits now, if they looked at the processing times and made it stop them from applying, they would not be in this position of having 4-year work permits, having protection, reassurance, reunification with their families, ability to work here and find good jobs here. They looked long term. They didn't just look at, oh my gosh, that's taking 6 months, or oh my gosh, that's taking 12 months. I'm not applying for that. They looked long term, and now because of that, they are in a good position. So you can inform yourself so that you can understand how long it's going to take, but don't let it stop you from applying. How do I change my case from consular processing? So if you're here in the United States, then you would just apply for your adjustment of status if you're here, and they would process it here in the US. And then once your case is approved, they would cancel it there. How do I change? And if I apply now, how long to take the work? Okay, so I answered that. All right. Okay, I don't see any more questions on YouTube, Facebook. I don't see any more questions on Instagram. And let me see, TikTok. Any more questions? Any more questions? I'm going to take 2 more questions if I see those questions pop up in the next few seconds. Otherwise, I'm going to head out, and what I often say is like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell so that when I come on, you can come on as well and join me in the live and ask your questions again. Hi there, limited edition. I see you're a long-time watcher. Nice to see you. Thanks for the follow, real one. I appreciate that. Janice, thanks for liking the live. Thank you so much for all the love that you're giving. 8.2K likes. It means that other people get to see this information based on what you're doing. All right, I don't see any more questions. Oh, thanks so much, limited edition. I thank you for that encouragement, and thanks for the roses. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Why would USCIS deny my AOS after an approval of the I-130? So usually when we're dealing with the adjustment of status application, they are now looking at admissibility issues. They're looking at whether you are, if there's something in your background that's indicating you're not admissible, past fraud, misrepresentation. Remember, they're heavy on the fraud and misrepresentation now. Other issues, if you look at the long list of yes or no questions, it's probably has something to do with that. Yet the long list of yes or no questions. So you need to make sure you're going to see that denial letter on there. They should tell you why. Hello there, Temitope. It's nice to see you. Oh, and my son is doing very well. Thanks for asking. He's doing very well. He made honor roll, so he's made honor roll in the past 3 quarters. So we just got notification of that. So he's working really hard. So while I'm working really hard here at the firm, making a difference, he's working really hard at school too. So thanks for that question. I appreciate it. All right, can you get BFD before biometrics? So we did see that early on. It's rare, but we did see that early on in the process, and I believe every other one has been after the bona fide, the biometrics. Okay, will it be easy and fast to apply asylum after visitor visa into USA? So asylum, you have to apply for it in the United States. Whether you come in, if you come in with a visitor's visa, you can apply for asylum. You just have to make sure you qualify for it. You can give us a call. We'll talk about what's going on, and then we can get started should you qualify. All right, that's gonna be it for me. Thanks again for the love. We're at 9K likes. I saw love coming in on Instagram. Thank you so much. And as always, all the questions that we get on Facebook and YouTube, and the love on Facebook and YouTube, I really appreciate it as well. My case was sent NVC. Can I resubmit AOS? So if you're here in the United States, you qualify, then you would be able to do AOS. But this is where now I give good information here, but it does not mean that you're supposed to take the information I'm giving and say the lawyer says, because I'm not your lawyer, and I don't know your case to the point where I give you, because my advice may be different speaking to you individually, because cases are different. So this is where if you're really struggling with what to do, you're here in the US, you want to change the adjustment of status, you need to make sure that you're talking to a lawyer. No case is simple, guys. Please make sure you understand that, because when you understand that, you'll be able to make good moves to protect yourself during this process, because things can go left very quickly now, unfortunately. So make sure you're getting legal advice, the right legal advice, getting representation before the process, so that you're ready and geared up for the challenges to come, because even the most seemingly straightforward cases are facing challenges right now. So be ready. It's not to say you can't be approved, but be ready to earn it and to work to get it. And one way to do that is to make sure you have legal counsel that is managing your case. Here at SC Law Office, we don't just file things and leave our clients hanging. We file the case, we manage the case, we respond to any correspondence, and all of that is included in our flat fee rates. So give us a call. You can call us right now. Staff is on hand, ready to talk to you, ready to get you on my schedule. The bookings are coming in hard and fast. My schedule is filling up. But my goal is to help as many people as possible. So call, get on my schedule so we can talk about your individual case. All right. Thanks again for all the love. Thanks again, and have a good night, everybody. Hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That's when you're going to see me next. Okay. Bye-bye.